Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, Befor. Thinking right out here in my lab, in my book. I'm teaching now. I'm in the role now. I'm doing philosophical concepts about religious culture rules. So we all have them. I'm just going through them, breaking them down. Hope you can enjoy them, understand them. And sometimes maybe you want to practice something different, want to do something new. I got you. So let's go. Right is 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we go with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through? Yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not, and knows not that they know not, is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know, spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my eye be true. I'm back in the book. I just gave you the 20 breakdown of the Egyptian philosophical concepts. Now we over here. I'm going to show you the Shakti yantra of India, showing the Egyptian sun disk and the pyramid in the center. They call it the mandalas. Okay, they make little patterns. But you see here, the four corners, that's the four directions of the earth. See the circle? That's God. The physical part is the square in the box. You got the triangle, the trinity, and you got the circle. All those are symbolic concepts in philosophical, mythological concept that you can use, and when you understand what they mean to your benefit. Oh, the lotus flower. I forgot the lotus flowers in there. Okay? When these right here, the lotus flowers, that's all represents life. Because the plant, the lotus flower, grows in the muckiest, funkiest, dirtiest place. And they say the dirtier the better. Why? Because when it opens up in the sunrise, it opens up and it's coated where nothing can touch it. And when the sun go down, it closes back up. That's why they use it symbolically. That's another thing. Everything they did was symbolical. And the idea was to learn the symbols, and you would learn the real meaning of everything that they presenting to you. They were showing you how to think. Perfect for me. So that's what I'm taking to this like a fish to water. What I just showed you, what they call the Shakti yantra in India, showing that the Egyptian sun disk, the pyramid in the center, even the dot in the middle of the circle or the middle of the pyramid. We show you that that's the first sign for God, the dot in the circle. All right, but this is called what they call the WRIGHT, and it is a compilation of religious doctrines. We all have biblical writings that teach us how to deal with God, how to worship. So that was already in place before Christianity come along. We ain't even got to you yet. So stop with the question about Christianity. This ain't gonna do with Christianity. Pay attention and learn something that you obviously don't know about, which are known to have been partially originated when? With the invaders, the Aryans, another race of people, still black, okay, but Indians, remember, there was the brown people, who came into India around the year 2000 BCE. To 1500 BCE. And the Bible didn't even get its start until 15 BCE. And from that point on, they started taking bits and pieces from everywhere to come up with their compilation they call the Bible. But you see, they did it from 2000 to 1500. Everybody have been doing it. It didn't just start with Christianity. So let's watch this. I got some chronological information for you too, if you don't understand that. Now, at 1500 BCE, and it attempted, watch this, they attempted to impose themselves on the Dravidians civilization. They weren't trying to have that, which was well established in India, watch this, by the year 25 BCE. So 1,000 years, they was already doing this 1,000 years. Somebody come in, we're going to do, no, we ain't doing that. Okay, that was the conflict. And watch this, and has originated, had been noted earlier that the Egyptian influence and the civilization has spread throughout the region for what? Which the Aryans originated. Again, they were black people, went into some other territory, only imposed their will. Okay? Egyptians never did that. Okay? Thus, the religious and the philosophical teachings brought into India, who, by the Aryans, okay, are found to be similar, if not identical, to the original Egyptian and the Indian philosophy. So they got bits and pieces fragmented. Again, their own interpretation, their own information. I'm going to show you the comparisons with the Indian and the Egyptians. Pretty much mirror, just the names has changed. And the Greeks did the same. They jumped on the bandwagon and created theirs from us, again. But the main differences right here would seem to lie in the writings of what? The Rig Veda, which pertain to social customs, which have been characterized, watch this, by many modern scholars to the way the ancients did things in India of the Rig Veda as racist and sexist. What they mean is they judge you by your skin color and your male or female. Women was put to the side. That didn't happen in Egypt. That was a new concept that they said. That's what they looked at it meant. That was racist. The dark-skinned people get treated wrong. The women get mistreated. That ain't cool. So that was their concept. Okay. But in character, and due to their development of what they called back then the caste system. We got the same thing. Hierarchy, middle class, low class. Same thing back then, in which those who were dark-skinned was considered low class. And the women in general were classified as being what? Lower in status. That's a male, egoistic, dominant concept. And that's what they brought with them. That's why it wasn't accepted. Nobody wants that. What's this? It was to be noted that like the Ethiopians, here we go, and your early Egyptians, the Dravidians were black-skinned, curly-haired people. Understand that? Black. But this situation wasn't about black or white. It was a situation was similar to that which had what? Occurred in Egypt when what? When the invasion of the influx of who? The Asiatics and the Indo-European invaders. Yeah. See? That was way after the Greeks. Okay? They came in. Everybody came into Egypt and took something. Okay? Nobody added nothing. Everybody took. Moving on. That's the concept. Now I'm going to give you a quick comparison. I just gave you the 20 Egyptian statements above the following passage from the Indian Rig Veda. I just did that about Egypt. And it says here, he is the all, this was their concept of God. Everybody got their philosophy about God. That's what I'm going to go through all of them to show you. He is the all-pervading being, manifests himself in all things. Sound familiar? He is immutable. His eyes and feet. It is he that has encompassed the whole universe. Sound familiar? And it is he who has transcended it. That being is the whole cosmos. All that was, all that will be. He manifests himself in forms of the universe. He is also the Lord and giver of immortality. So vast is his glory that, but he is the universal being, is greater than all that. The manifested world forms but a small portion of his being. In main, he is unmanifest and immortal. Meaning, when he comes into human form, when he gives form to human, he's part of that. The part that don't die, the spirit that goes on, The consciousness is what we're going to take with us to the afterlife to what? To know who we are. I got a nice concept. I done got my whole philosophical concept. So, yeah, I get it. I understand it. I just enhanced it, modernize it, dress it up, put it where you can even understand it. If you go to heaven and don't know who you are, how you get there? You got to know who you are. You got to become one with God, and He'll welcome you with open arms. So everybody don't go to heaven. Why? The work things you got to do to get there. That's what separates those who do and those who don't. Moving on. And now, the author's note. I'm only halfway through. I got a nice little page of information. We're going to get into their top 10 of what they believe about God, their philosophy about God. Okay, it says here, the author's note. One will note that the attributes of God, we all know the attributes. We all know them. In the previous, even the Egyptian statements correspond to those in what? The Hindu, the Samkhya, and the Vedanta philosophy, the Buddhist, and the Taoist philosophical systems of the Far East, denoting that the idea of an absolute one supreme God, a force of energy encompassing all that exists, the description given for God, that's what they are, all refer to the mental state which God represents. I told you, you can't communicate without mentally getting to God. The physical part, the spirit, He gives up. That's our gift. Your job is to commune with Him, become conscious of Him. That's why He gave man consciousness, so that he can know who he is. Thus, the true essence of our souls is described by the sages as a guide for truly understanding what the goal of spirituality is to become conscious of oneself while in the flesh, while alive. They tell you that. So let's talk right quick about the Vedanta philosophy. And all the philosophies are to give you understanding that you can practice. There's no right and wrong philosophy. There's no right and wrong belief. Why? You believe it, that's on you. That's your choice. Free will means nobody's right or wrong in their choice that they make. Why? You find out at Judgment Day if what you did was right or wrong. Why? Good deeds, good works, be rewarded. Bad deeds, no good works, will be punished. That's why. And you're the decisive, you're the decision maker for all that. Okay? Why? You learn, you comprehend, you understand, you manifest, you win. If not, recycle. Moving on. We call it life cycle, birth and death. Birth and death. Yeah, the circle. Okay, cycle of life. Let's talk about the major tenets of the Vedanta concept, the philosophy. Number one, absolute reality is that which is unchanging. We tell you the truth, don't change. Go, don't change. Anything that don't change is truth. Simple as that. We change as people. Okay? But the spirit in us don't change. Get the concept? All right, let's go. So, number two, the absolute reality is named Brahman. For y'all Christians, they took Brahman and put the A on it, called Abraham. Abram, whatever you want to call it. But no, Brahman was the God name for the Indian concepts. Okay? And that's the manifesting universe as in appearance only. Why? This world is an illusory modification of Brahman. We are his dream. We're in his world. Therefore, it never had a beginning, or will it never have an end. Why? Because it is only an appearance. We just part of it. We come and go because we age and we old and we die. But the spirit, eternity don't give a damn about that. Something like that. They don't give a damn about that. Don't keep time. That's what immortality, eternity is, to be part of that. That's what the spirit is. And when you become conscious of yourself, you become what? An enlightened being, knowing all things, mainly thyself. To go back to what? Rest in eternity for what the spirit that goes there. Simple. That's what the whole name of the game is. Life is to be played. And if you don't win, you can do it again. The game y'all play. How many times I can get killed? Oh, numerous times. What the hell is that? Oh, but the concept comes from the spirit. Spirit don't die. The physical body died, but the spirit ain't going nowhere. So y'all planet don't even understand it. I can't even help them. Why? Because they know everything. They know everything. I said, okay, I got to let it go. Gotta let them go. Moving on. Brahman, number 3. Brahman is the ultimate reality, aka God. Remember, we just gave the attributes. All these are attributes of God. Brahman is the ultimate reality, God. We call it supreme being, the all, and the all that exists. All the objects of this world and the universe, even though it appears to be different, are what? Really one entity. If you understand that, you get the concept. And all physical reality, which is the 3rd dimension, is an illusory manifestation of God, Brahman, which Brahman sustains. How? But yet is detached from it at all times. Just as the sun sustains life here on earth, yet is detached from it. That's the concept. The spirit is inside us. It just don't get involved with what the physical body does. That's what it's saying. It nourishes you, give you air, give you oxygen, pumps everybody in the body, give you consciousness, it runs everything, but you are in control. Brahman, number 4. Brahman is what? Pure consciousness. Spirit and consciousness. That's what God is. God is not physical. He becomes matter when what? Man comes into what? Way of human reproduction. Okay? That's where that comes in. But the spirit don't die. It is. It just exists. And it is God. They knew that. What's this? Pure consciousness. All that exists is essentially Brahman. Sat, Shet, Ananda. That means exists, knowledge, and bliss. Wow. Beautiful concept. I like that. Okay? God gives things existence. We got the concept. Okay? But this is their philosophy. God is conscious of those things. Therefore, they exist. And God gives bliss to what? To the experience of living when lived right and correct. That's the peace. That's the ultimate. What we want the Christians, they want to be blissed out by living right, getting the ghost. All that is still the same thing. That's why I don't have a problem with people who practice a religion, a system. I ain't got a problem with that. Just do it the right way. That's the only way you're going to benefit anyway. So if you bullshitting, half-assing, you don't get nothing out of it anyway. Now, all you preachers who getting big cars and nice fancy money, at Judgment Day, you can't take none of that with you. And you going right back, what, here? You ain't going to heaven with that nonsense. So, and you preaching it, you should be the first to know that. Oh, I forget. Y'all just preaching. Y'all don't live it. That's the difference, okay? But God is to be experienced by what? Human living beings. We are spiritual beings. We got to become conscious of who we are. The mind, body, and the senses of human beings are illusions. Would you? Well, I can feel me. I mean, yeah. But the essence of everything in this universe, including you, the human soul is pure consciousness. Even though objects appear real, tangible, and permanent, it is in reality transient and illusory. You only know about it because you're here in this world. It's a whole nother realm. I'm about to get to that too. Different realms. Don't worry about it. I got you. It's all mental. See, the mind got no balance. It got no time. It don't care. It's free to go, come, past, future, imagination. It's free. But if you got it blocked in with belief, you shortchanging yourself. Moving on. Believe me. Brahman, aka God, is the world and also assumes the role of what? Millions of individuals, life forms, people, animal, insects, etc. He's in all things. Again, I keep like this can be, don't get crazy. But this I'm trying to get the point across. They understood this. Everybody had their idea. Everybody had a concept. But the individual soul was termed Atman. Atman is Atum. The part of God that does the work. Again, they had their perspective, we had ours. But we didn't argue, fuss, or fight about it. Okay, we just understood that's what they do, this is what we do. It's called respect. If there's respect, there should be no wars. If we respected one another's right to do and be, we've had no wars. Ego takes away respect. Ego wants to control. Moving on. And that white man wants nothing but what? Control. Moving on. And he ain't got control of himself first. If you're going to control others, lead, manipulate, control, or instruct, you should have you under control first. Moving on. The Atman, okay, we call it, again, a tomb. Atman and Brahman are what? Are one and the same. No, one and the same. Therefore, everyone's soul is part of the universal essence, Brahman, which is God. Through a veil, number 8, through what they call the veil of mental ignorance. Now remember, ignorance means not to know. And if you're mentally ignorant, that means you're not conscious of something. You don't know something. So you have to be what? Enlightened. You have to be taught, instructed. The individual soul, the Atman, believes it is an individual entity. Ding, 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 ding. Right there. That's where the ego kicks God to the curb and says, it's all me. Why? It's ignorant of its higher self. That's the concept. Even in their philosophy, I get it. They call it Hava. That means separate from everything. Ego. We call it Yava, we call it ego. How about that? The same thing. Watch this. Separate itself from everything else. And when it is indeed part of everything, it don't know. That's ignorant of its what? Higher self. The mental veil, again, of ignorance comes from the erroneous subconscious impressions from the prior life who what? Didn't get knowledge. So it's just as dumb as a bag of rocks also. You can't depend on that. Why? That's why you reincarnated. It didn't do a damn thing. Don't let that lead you. Which caused you, the person, to now believe that you are a body instead of a spiritual being having a human experience. So therefore, you search for happiness is all for material and physical things and to fulfillment in what? This illusionary, pleasure-filled world that don't mean nothing. This idea and this ignorance of self leads one from what? From one unfulfilling desire to another. Your ego will never be satisfied. Why? It don't know what satisfies it. It don't know what it wants. It just wants. And whatever it is, it wants more of it. So unless you control it, it will continue to put you in bad predicaments. I call them fetters. You cause your own problems. And right now, we got a guy who's calling his problems is our problems. Why? Because we all behind him on the same boat, the Titanic, white America. All right, let's go. But we're number 9. Almost there. Number 9 in the Vedas. They seek to what? Transform one's subconscious of the individual through what? Gradually increasing in your philosophical and practical daily disciplines in your life that you can manifest for yourself. You can't tell me what somebody practicing for themselves is wrong. I don't deal with the Bible. My best friend and pastor know nothing but that Bible. I can't knock the Bible. It just ain't my thing. Again, that's perfect for him. Okay, what I do ain't his thing. Perfect for me. See where we're going with this? So there shouldn't be a discrepancy. There shouldn't be no arguments about somebody's philosophy. Its goal in life is to remove the veil of ignorance. I'm trying to do that by what? Give you knowledge of self. Obviously, if you don't have it, I'm trying to get you to have it by doing the things that you need to do that will make that happen for you. That's what a sage does. And by asserting that the only reality is Brahman, God. And when this reality has become consciously understood and realized by the individual by what? Your intuition. That's our set. That's your knowing something without being taught. That means it was born in you. It's in you. Intuitive knowledge. And through daily, my favorite, practice of meditation, you will have your own mental experience. And now the veil of ignorance of your higher self is lifted. If you're not meditating, you're not communing with God. You can pray all the things you want, all that. But meditation is the way to get that information from God. My pastor told me God downloads the information to him. And because I'm a yogi, practicer, meditator, I know just what he means. Once that veil of ignorance is lifted, you become what? Enlightened. You enlightened being. You know who you are. You know you and God are connected. And that initiate which you are before that happened. Now you subsets and you are being transformed psychologically and spiritually. Your state of mind will now abide in what? Your real universal, omnipresent God, expensive state of consciousness, term Yava Maktu, which means one who is liberated. We say know thyself. Well, no, we say nihas. That's one who have known themselves. Same thing. When? While still alive. That's the caveat. While still alive, you have to do it in your own time. Some get it younger, some get it older, some don't get it at all. Okay, that's one of the options. You got 3 options. Get it, don't get it, late or young, or don't get it at all. Okay. You're responsible for that. Ain't nobody's fault but yours. I ain't responsible for nothing except me. All I'm concerned with myself is me. They just call me conceited. Why? It's always been about me. My ego's always been intact. Why? It's always been about me. But within reason and understanding, I've gotten better with that. So I don't, let my ego lead me no more. At one time, I was all ego. I'm like, oh man, you have to make the change. That's the difference. I did. He didn't. Moving on. I felt the need, desire to. I guess he didn't. His choice. All right, let's wrap this up. Now, the term illusory modification. Whoa. Skip, I forgot a whole lesson down here. Now, the conscious term, Yava Makti, which means one who is liberated, okay, while still alive. Now, Yavan Mukta is an individual, we call it Akus. That's an individual who has what? Submitted their and conquered their ego sense in the favor of becoming one with the absolute reality, we call it God. No longer knowing or believing themselves as what? As an individual egoistic person. Now they know they are one with God, aka Brahman. My Father and I are one. Kingdom of God is within. All those things, that phrases, they all come back to you becoming one with God. In the phrase, this is the state termed as moksha or liberation. That means to be free. What? Mentally, you become conscious. You're woke now. A lot of us are mentally ignorant, asleep, not knowing things of what? Ourselves. Taking it home. Again, the term illusory modification can be better understood from a simile given by the Vedanta philosophy. It goes like this. A person who enters a dark room, think about this, and steps on something which appears to feel like a snake. Right there, your senses are playing tricks on you. Your ignorance is starting to lead you down an imaginary road that ain't true. Fear, false evidence appearing real. The first you do is you get scared. Now you can't think clear, you can't function because what? You're in the dark. Dark is the concept of being ignorant, not knowing. Click, light come on, you look down, just a rope. See the concept? That's the allegorical concept. But I wanted to show you how the mind, that quick, it just go. And if you ain't got control of it, that's why you see people in the movies, the star never freaks out. Everybody, he's calculating, figuring out how to do things, make sure you got, why? He keeping his wit. He ain't freaking out. He haven't given into what? Fear. David had no fear of Goliath. He went down his business. Simple as that. When there's no fear, your imagination don't play tricks on you. Again, it's a drug without taking the drug. Fear is a drug. Trust me. Another lesson about that. But okay. But it's like the snake. Think of the snake. But now you the person, you're very scared. Why? Because you believe what? The information from your senses. Because the feet felt something. The body go into fear, shock mode. And the person turns on the light and finds out what? It's just a rope. See? Like a nightmare. You're in a dream and you get scared, you wake up, you realize, just a dream. But in the same token, when you having pleasures and everything going your way, you wake up, no, I want to go back. See how that go? That's the mind playing tricks on you. It is due to your ignorance, and the darkness, again, represents the rope and the perceived to be a snake in the mind. But in the same way, it is our ignorance, again, about our true nature, who we are, which allows us to perceive the multiplicity of the world as a reality and the objects of the world are perceived as separate entities instead of what they truly are. Brahman, all is God. This ignorance is based on the information of what our brains that gather from the senses, the physical body, the five senses, the feel, the smelling, the seeing, the hearing, the touching, and the tasting. That's the physical body that communicates to the brain. When the brain felt, when the signal went to the brain, oh, I might step on a snake. Where'd that come from? What the hell that's about? See, imagination. But the senses, rather than from the gathered through what? Your higher intuitive capacities to be able to stay calm, see the situation through, let it play itself out, maintain your cool, so to speak. But the light also represents what? Your intuitional wisdom of the truth, whereby the question based on our incorrect and ignorant assumptions and ideas, because you stepped on a rope, why there had to be a snake? Your mind went right there. And where did the snake come from? The idea of the snake. And what kind of snake is it? And who does the snake belong to? All these are illusionary things that we put ourselves through. And my man, Epictetus, he said, we suffer more from our imagination than we do in reality. Way more. Why? A lot of stuff that we think may happen, never happens. That's why. Good concept, and it's true. Is the snake poisonous? All of these is stuff that run through your mind. And all that would become what? Irrelevant if he had the what? Truth. Light on. So you don't go through all that. The mind just went all around the mulberry bush for nothing. Okay? In the same way, you have questions about the origins of the world, humanity, etc. Should question you first. Become irrelevant when you do all those things, and since time and space and physical reality are just illusions that we're part of, only Brahman exists. One sees oneself as Brahman, therefore one sees only oneself in existence. Relatives, people, the sun, planets, all are what? Oneself. Illusory modification made it seem like there is a multiplicity of different objects in existence. I'm almost done. The Vedanta philosophy, and this is what we talk about, holds that there are 4 planes of existence and that the human being is really a composite of 3 bodies and 5 sheaths or layers in this manner. The divine self, Brahman, expresses itself in the forms of nature and even in living human beings. And the planes are your gross plane, the physical plane, consisting of gross elements in the senses, the body. The subtle plane, number 2, is consisting of the subtle elements that may perceive through extrasensory perception, thinking. Number 3, the subtle plane, the intellect. Here, the ego is now transcended and one experience what? Higher forms of being, conscious of themselves. You're waking up. You're an enlightened being, Akus. Number 4, they call it the subtlest plane, which is what? This is the level of the casual body, when there's no longer nothing except you and God becoming one. That's the concept. And the bodies, that's the planes. Now they talk about the body, the physical body, right here, the astral body, when you go to sleep. The casual body is when you pass judgment day and go into that next concept. That's the highest level. But the 5 sheaths are the coverings. Let's go write this right quick. Wrap them up right now. You got the food sheath. That's the Anandamaya kosha. Then you got this is the Indian, they say it. Then you got the pranic sheath, which is your vital energy, breathing. Breathing that good as prana, as my man to tell you. Pramayana kosha. Now, mind sheath, Manomaya kosha, thinking, right? Intellect sheath, Vijnana kosha, that means understanding, interpret, comprehending what's going on to make the transition. The last one, the bliss sheath, that's Hotep, supreme peace and happiness. That's when one transcends one's ego and body and experiences what? True enlightenment with what? Higher self, God. That's coming, Nihas, God conscious, anointed, whatever you want to call it. But that's reaching a level that all human beings have the ability to reach. And the only way you're going to get to the next level is to follow and meet these requirements. If not, We in cycle, reincarnation. That's the lesson. Hope you enjoy it. Took a little long, but hope I got my point across. I'll be right back with more. I'm teaching now. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me 100 minus a day. So I've never known that my right thinkers starting to realize philosophy from different cultures have passed away. Practice what you like. Practice what worked for you. That's right thinker philosophy.